we go to the McCullough Road. She's going to go over here and make a little circle. Sister Liz, where you are, we'll go to the Hart Library. And again, all you have to do is turn right, turn left, and it will be on the left. And Sister Vivian is going to the big parlor. That's where we lay out our sisters, so we call it the funeral parlor sometimes. But anyway, it doesn't look like a funeral. To the left, and it'll be on your right. Any questions? Well, we'll help you get there, and we'll tell you when you have to quit talking about one group and move to another. All right, everybody ready to go? All right, here we go.
Hello. Do you remember me?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Hello.
Hi.
Squeeze past you really quick. Sorry.
You're going to trip over that.
I know. I'm trying to.
So I like started on today. Oh, did you? It's gonna come back to me. Everything. You did that room. I don't. You're smart. And I'm back there. And I was in the library on the side. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I thought you meant here. No, that's.
So that's over there.
Yeah.
I thought they were trying to clear that up.
And they're gonna have it over in cocktail hour, which is good. So
Oh, that would be good.
get a chance to see it.
So you gonna go there?
Oh,
Careful, your cords.
I know. I'm so sorry. It's hard to pick up.
What was that?
Thank gosh, you're getting crowded. Really?
I know you do.
And Winnie has a New Jersey accent too. Right. And what town of Jersey girl? Huh? What town did you grow up? Well, I grew up in Teaneck. I was in the north.
Sit back here in the back.
You go back to Jersey at all?
Oh, you.
So I get there at least once a year, maybe twice. So therapy? Are you on therapy? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Now, are you in there too? Did you break that?
Oh,
Long
no.
Island. Oh, I was working in the corner in the world.
Oh, yes, and
So-
there was a little ledge.
We were back and forth. My mother
And I was
was
working on
my
different
father
steps
lived in
off
Jersey.
that.
And in Jersey, then she got home.
It's easy to do.
We lived in Park
So
District,
now I'm
which is
feeling-
right in the pond.
Yeah,
Sorry to hear that.
I don't know if you want to live there now.
No.
How you doing, sister?
How's the news going on?
Still there?
Trip and, It was amazing.
Hi, George.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Nice to know it's great. I got to meet a lot of new
So
people.
far.
Good,
Got to catch up with some of my neighbors.
Good, good.
So it was fun.
You'll know when you'll know when the
You
kids.
know what? I
Yeah,
know what
right.
I
mean, it's nice, but I all the girls are there.
Mixture.
We okay?
Only if we're-
You're fine.
Only if we're-
Everybody, yeah.
And some of those people.
Open or close. Leave it open, yeah, you'll be more comfortable.
Sometimes these days, mixtures are fun.
Oh, yeah.
I like prickly city.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna wander around and listen.
Oh, okay, well, you can feel free to come anytime.
Pardon?
Come in
My
anytime.
favorite.
I will for free.
Oh.
It's real place, believe it or not.
Okay, so we're in here till
That's
Sunday.
You're really.
Till 10, okay.
You have time
Yeah.
to
What can I say?
relax and tell your
So
story.
beautiful.
It is.
Okay, so welcome. I'm Sister Lynn. And I have Sister Rosangela and Sister Mildred because I was in dietetics, it was called home ec when I was there. And I had both of them as teachers and of course lifelong friends. But I don't know, I know, were you in dietetics?
I was in merchandising.
Oh, in merchandising with Sister Mildred or Sister Alice
Yeah.
Louise.
Alice Louise.
Oh, she was one. We went.
We had Sister Sheila for foods, and then we had Sister Rosangela.
So you had all three of them because they were like
And Dorothy Marie.
and Dorothy Marie. And they were wonderful. Anybody else have any dietetic background or no?
I came to see no for dietetics.
Did you? Got you.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Catholic college and it had dietetics. And I came to visit here and Sister Rose Irene was in charge of admissions and she was so warm and helpful and I had gone to Chestnut Hill to check it out and I went back to St. Louis College in New Jersey. And then I came here and they were so friendly here. So that's why I want to go.
That was my feeling too. I drove up that hill and I never wanted to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
But Sister Deshauna was there to meet me at the door, and she knew, because she used to send a picture. I don't know if they still do. Yeah, send a picture of yourself.
Yeah.
And so she knew name, mother and father, and my name. She was
Father
Dish.
Ryan.
Dish we called her.
Yeah.
He knew your name the first day he got here.
I know it was amazing. But Sister Roseanne, well, I hate to talk about death, but she's the only person and sister that when they were dying. And she lived if you knew her at all, she lived such a really wonderful life. She was always very even. She really never seemed to get out of sorts with anybody. She was always just so pleasant. She was a great nutrition teacher, and she would help you if you needed help. I always needed help. But she died as she lived. Because I was like, this is only a few years ago. Because she lived to be 100, over 100, and she was, just very quiet in the bed. And Sister Deborah was there, and a couple other sisters, and we were just sitting there praying with her. And said, "I don't need to use this." And then it wasn't only maybe 5 or 10 minutes later that she kind of looked. She was so peaceful in life and in death. She was a great gardener, right? She used to make fudge for the festival. But I worked at a hospital in the city, Monroeville. And at Christmas time, I always like to do little things for the patients. And Sister Rosangela made fruitcakes. You remember those? Ann? So she made us fruitcakes, and we cut them up as little packages and put them on the patient trays. But she could do almost anything. She was always willing,
Well, I said about her, she could garden, she could cook, she could do dietetics, and pray. She did everything well. I think I like to clone her.
She really was. And I remember when we first opened this building, which is now 20 years old. We opened it the end of 1999. And it's in pretty good shape for 20 years old.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But we have a swimming pool, a therapy pool, really. It's not a big swimming pool, but it's a nice pool. But she was one of the first ones, down there. They even took pictures of she and I think Sister Corinne, because they were lifelong friends. And these, they were probably in their 80s at that point. So there they are down in this pool swimming away. And I don't know that she had been in a swimming pool I don't even know if she'd ever been in a swimming pool, because in those days we didn't have access to things like that. But
But she was willing to just put herself into everything. She was enjoying that. Now, the one story that somebody told at her funeral, but Sister Victoria Maria, I think, told it. Sister Corrine she and Sister Corrine were, as young girls, were really good friends, and she was just a little bit older than Sister Corrine. But they both entered. They planned to enter the community on the same day. Now, Ann, you can correct me. I think in those days when you entered, that was your seniority day. So if 8 people entered, the first one that came in the door, and so on. Now, of course, we remember anyone entering, but now we do it by age. Like when I entered, I'm 5th or 6th because age-wise, it didn't matter. I was actually first year, which is unusual. But anyway, when they were ready to come in the door, I guess, to get the number or whatever, Sister Corrine going first. Even though she was, I think, 7 weeks older than Sister Corrine in life, but so all through community life, Sister Corrine was a little bit ahead of her. She didn't care, they were really lifelong friends. They did everything together, and when they came here, well, they didn't do everything. I shouldn't say that because Sister was, Sister Corrine, I'm not sure, she was out on mission teaching, I guess. But then when they came here, they were able to be here together, which was nice, renewed their friendship.
Then she had a sister.
Sister Miriam Francis, and she was the director of nursing at Pittsburgh Hospital. I worked there for 7 years, and she was there they were like night and day, really. She was very strict. The girls were the students were afraid of her, and but Sister Rosie wasn't like that at all. You weren't afraid of her. You respected her.
For a while, remember?
Well, yeah, that was when Jeanette Hospital. When we were building this place, we were originally on to the old Assumption Hall, but they found asbestos, so they said, we can't do anything. It would cost you so much money. So we were going to tear it all down. Well, of course, we had, 50, 60 sisters living here. We had to kind of find places for them. And Sister Miriam Francis, who was very ill, they put her over at Jeanette Hospital. And Sister Miriam Francis, she was very ill. Everything she wanted, she would get for her.
So eventually, I think they lived separate.
I think they might.
It was too hard.
Yeah. But she had to be, in her 80s at that point. And then they built this place, and but she was always willing to go out there. But she did a lot of nice things.
Angel food cake.
Angel food cake, yeah. Great angel food. And fudge, she made wonderful fudge. But I don't know. When you were at Seton Hill, did you have any contact with her? She was there. Or you would?
Yes. Practice house.
Oh yeah.
She was basically in charge of everything, the clothing and the foods.
She was the director of Omeka.
Yes. She was always there, always involved in everything we did.
She was. No, I came in '56, and she was already here. So and I think she might have started in the '40s. And she was the director, and she was the director long after I left. But at some point in time, they decided that directors, some of them would be changed, and so she was going to move out of that, and it was, it was not a problem at all. We didn't have any problem with, she was then going to be just a professor, and
The other thing was she was how to coach. She used to do kind of menial things, like answer the phone. She was willing to do anything.
yeah, when she retired. I think you're right. She would do anything they wanted her to do. She didn't. She was never one that was like I'm sure she didn't want to use someone else. We had a lot of. And we should talk a little bit about her too before we. Do you have any things like?
I have a lot.
Go for it. Go for it.
We were terrified of her.
I would too.
She was tall. Did anyone ever, did you have her or
No.
know her? She was very tall and slim, and she used to be a model in New York City before she became Sister Jerry. And she was a very New Yorker.
Mm-hmm. Never lost the accent.
Long Island.
There you are. Long
I
Island.
don't say that.
I always say Long Island. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
So she was terrifying as a teacher. But however, after graduation, somehow we became very close. And then she changed her name to Mildred Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And she would come to New York every fall for Fashion Week, and she would get the best hotel with the best view of the Chrysler Building and everything. For, you know, just very, very inexpensive. And then we'd go out on the deck, and she liked to have a little scotch. So we'd have our drink together, and so she always picked out a good pub to go for dinner. And let's see, one year I went to Europe with her, and it was a trip that we were visiting all the designers, Emilio Pucci, and their houses, their shoes, and who's the other one? Famous designer for bags.
Gucci.
Gucci.
I don't know anything about bags, but I heard that name.
It's in all of those wonderful design places in Rome. And to New York, and I'd always meet her in the city when she came to fashion.
She really knew so much. I mean, as in those days in home ec, you had to take one course in clothing, which was the nutrition part of it. But we were all afraid of her too. And you had to have everything perfect. I mean, you had to line up. Was here, nobody could see that seam. You had to have those lines perfectly matched.
Stripes had a match.
Oh, and then of course we had to make these things, and at the end of the semester, the test was a fashion show in your own clothes. And that was so embarrassing. In front of your friends, because most of we didn't have a big class in dietetics, so most of your friends didn't know what you were doing down there at St. Mary's. And then here in Sicilian Hall, we had to come down this platform in this outfit that we made ourselves. It was terrible. But I was terrible. But we became good friends too, and of course got to know her a lot better when she was here. I always remember when she came here, she wasn't real happy with activity because she was a very independent person, and she had a lot of knowledge and we have this wonderful activity director, and she's been with us all these 20 years, and she had all these plans. Well, Mildred didn't think that was, she didn't want, why would I have to go to that kind of stuff? But in the end, she came to love it, and really, because one time she came back, she had taken her down to, what's it called, down at the Station Square in the city of Pittsburgh, and they went to a restaurant and they saw the different things down there, and they came back. She said, oh my, she was just so happy with that. She thought April was wonderful from that point on because she was doing such nice things with the sisters and she enjoyed that going on trips. So she won her over.
And she was an avid swimmer. She loved the water. And I always questioned her. I said, well, don't you go over to Sullivan Hall and swim because we had a big pool there. She said, well, I can get in, but I can't get out because they just have the built-in steps.
Oh,
they didn't have a ladder. So I bought one of those handicap things and had it installed in the pool. I guess they could swing it over so that it was out of the way when they had swimming meets, but then they would extend it so it was like a banister that you could walk into.
Isn't that nice of you?
She did that, and she loved to swim.
She went here too, because this pool, as I said, it's a therapy. We call it a therapy pool, but it's 4 feet deep at one end, and then I don't know how long it is, but I mean, you could swim in it. I mean, you get to the other end pretty quick.
Even if you just walk in the water.
Well, that's it. And we do have a therapy for the sisters, water aerobics. And they have a therapist that goes in the water and they do those things for balance. Because I came when I broke a hip. I came actually and did it. It's wonderful. It does give you the feeling of better balance.
Right. I moved in here.
Right now, we don't have any room. All of a sudden, we're kind of full. For a while, we
How
have.
many live here?
So we have, I think it's 100 beds. And I think now we only have like 5 or 6 that are on the third floor. Sister lives here, so she'd know.
Well, I moved to Dorn Hall.
Oh, you moved to Dorn Hall. Okay.
It's a residence, and it's very nice also.
And then we have Ennis Hall, which is that old that house that's
Oh,
over
it's
there.
still named Venice.
Mhm. And then, but here it's probably, I'm guessing 95 right now, but we do have 100 beds. But the second floor where it's more the nursing part where the sisters, the 24-hour nursing service, sisters who need that, and that's full. We don't have any empty rooms there third floor is more independent living. Sisters are on their own, they do whatever they want, but meals are here, and they can eat in the diner, or they can go out if they want. So it's very nice to be independent. We'll keep that.
It is. I have one more quick thing, and I want to keep.
Go ahead. Oh, no, we're fine. We're not
I'll
going
bore
to
you. I
we have 20 minutes.
we had to take a tailoring class, and we had to work on wool, and everything had to be perfect, as the sister said. And we had to make round buttonholes, which are the ones where you take the fabric and cut little triangles on the corner, that whole thing. We had to spend hours in the lab trying to do all this. So let's got together.
I never thought of that. Did you catch it?
Yeah, that's the other thing, you're right.
That was, oh my God, that's a
Kind of
good,
plagiarism.
that's a good story, that's right, that's like, oh, but she did have the, I mean, I remember those two, they were unbelievable, I said, I was home, but,
They were funny.
but you know, she, when she was here, she used to take men's ties and have them dry cleaned and make vests out of them. And they were beautiful.
Very clean.
She
And
wore
she
them,
was-
they're beautiful, because all these nice fabrics.
Right.
Sometimes she sold, if she made some and had extras, she'd sell them in the gift shop. And the other thing is when we opened our, you know, the downtown, the theater, performing arts, performing arts. In downstairs, when we went downstairs, they have a whole area, you'd probably love it, of sewing where they make all the outfits for
The costumes.
the costumes and that. But on the models were costumes that sister had made.
Really?
I don't know if they're still there, because that was when we opened that, it was like, I don't know,
10 years.
10 years, Jimmy?
About 10 years ago.
Was it that long?
About 10
But
years
they
ago.
had these ones, so when we were on tour, we could see the, and they said Sister Mildred, and I thought, wow, she would have loved that. And they're
Nobody should check it out.
Yeah.
You go to, it's downstairs, and because they have a lot of music downstairs, but there's one big room, at least it was there a few years ago. I think it was, I'm sure it's still there.
That's costume.
Everything. Bailey's now.
It's more offices, like
Offices,
accounting, the business office, things like
It's
that.
Sister had worked there when they first went to me. Was she in
She
home?
went back in 74 to 76.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. So she probably knew Sister. And Sister Mildred, of course. Now, at that point, Sister Mildred probably was here. No, she wasn't here yet. She was still at college until we opened anything about New York.
By the way, the swimming pool is still a bone of contention. There's a wonderful magazine called the Setonian, and it has the steps on the front. That magazine has the most wonderful 100 things of Seton Hill. And I just recommend it. And one of the things is the swimming pool, because it hasn't been usable for about 20 years, I think, because it costs too much money to fix it. So the Seton Hill, the Sullivan Hall swimming pool,
They don't use it anymore.
it's been out of a long
Didn't need
time.
all
To
the
drain
birds.
and fix that would cost a
Yeah.
lot of money.
So anyway, it's one of the 100 things of Seton Hill is the in a way, defunct
Yeah.
swimming pool.
I think that, yeah, the swimming pool and the tennis court, they don't have a tennis court anymore.
That's true too.
That's terrible.
Oh, I know. I don't know why we don't we have tennis courts at all?
That got lost.
Hmm.
That's terrible.
Is the
That's
bowling
the
alley still downstairs?
No, that's lost,
That's
too.
been gone.
Yeah.
Bowling alley, the duck pins.
That was next to the pool.
Yes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, yeah.
But we couldn't graduate if we didn't swim and
Oh,
dive.
yeah, that's
with
right. We
Bessie
had to be able to
McManus.
swim.
Yes, you had to learn how to dive. I was terrified of that
I
too.
was.
I'm glad they eliminated that before I came.
Yeah.
You had to take that course and you had to know how to dive. Which probably was a very good thing, safety wise, but at that point, we didn't appreciate it. But it was, I mean, it's not a very big pool, you know, but it's
It's pretty big.
big enough
But
to
it
swim in.
wasn't the
It's not Olympic size, I
Olympic
guess.
size. That's
No,
what
it wasn't.
So you couldn't do any,
But it doesn't
you
have
just
to
do,
be.
Yeah, 8 foot deep.
huh? Oh, it was deep, sure.
Yeah.
Any shallower and you couldn't dive.
You couldn't dive if it wasn't.
Shallow end, right, they always said no diving, but there was a diving board into the deep end. But it is too bad, I didn't realize it wasn't being used at all.
No.
That's a shame, because I'm
Because
sure
I
the
mean-
students would love that.
One of my
Jimmy, you need
reunions,
to work on that.
Okay, I'll try and, I'll mention it. Well, a lot of people ask about that when they come back. I mean, and they used it, I think it was available to use 2 years while I was here, and maybe the third year, and then after that, something
Remember, we
happened.
had a and anything that floats.
Yep, do you remember
We
that?
used to have
Yeah.
that for-
Oh, that
for a
was
while.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in like
I mean,
anything that floats race.
Oh,
Yeah. So it was like a contest to see who would be able to get from one end to the other without it sinking. So
It's too
it
bad
was
they
fun.
couldn't-
I think
They
in-
couldn't
I
just
think
fix it
in
up, I
your
guess.
freshman year, I was your buddy.
they
Yeah,
have,
that was
they
awesome.
have the money. It's just priorities.
Well, if you've been to the dining room and seen the beautiful,
Oh, yeah.
that's gorgeous. And many years, that's all, it was always, we have to fix the dining room, we have to do something, but it was always a matter of money. And it always dropped down to the bottom of I was on the building and grounds committee. It always dropped to the bottom, but finally, it was decided we have to do it, that's it. I mean, it's gorgeous, and Darren does a super job. And the students love it, and I'm sure the faculty love it too. You can probably love it too.
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful.
You can just walk in, go right to what you want, no lines.
You've always thought rightly that service was the important thing. Right above your building. And that's-
It's wonderful. You can do so much more with it. And the dining room looks almost not the same, but the integrity of it is still there, and all the
One thing is missing though, remember that sign over the door?
someone stole that.
They did,
A woman is was
soft,
spoken and
Well, if they eliminated that one with Colette.
Well, I think it was down before that. Something happened. I'm not sure. Like Sister Lynn said, something
I
happened to the
think somebody
sign.
borrowed
I'm not sure what happened. I know they have
for a
in
long
the
time.
Welcome Center and even down at dinner tonight, they'll have a table set up where they have like replicas of that. So
You
if
could buy it.
like to
right.
purchase one or get one.
Said
They're
that
selling
excellent
those.
thing.
An excellent, that's it, an
Yeah.
excellent,
So they have
what was
it.
it,
You
an
talk to
excellent,
Jane or Joanne.
an excellent sign in a woman.
Excellent
Oh,
love.
an excellent
Yeah.
thing in a woman. Something, an excellent
Yeah.
sign in a woman. Yeah, and you wouldn't want to have it as a co-ed, that's for sure, but it did get, I think, get borrowed before that happened, so
because I know.
it's probably on somebody's mantle somewhere. It wasn't very big, just it was right over the door. Did you see our little bird nest on the door out here?
No, I didn't.
When you come in front of the carriage house, the men have a little piece of aluminum, I'm not sure what it's for, but it's up there over the door, and it sticks out a little bit, and right on top of it, the bird came and made.
I think it's a robin.
The robin,
I don't think the egg is hatched
you
yet.
can't, can you see it?
Well, you can see it sitting up there.
The bird, he flies away, because the doors are automatic, so as soon as you get near them, whoosh,
Oh,
and
I hope it
he
doesn't
flies
fly
away, yeah,
it's too busy a place to go.
well. they
So
did it.
With all the trees.
I know. Any other stories, anything else that somebody wants to add to the?
What year did you?
I was 1976,
Oh,
but I was a psych major and in education.
Now, who did you have?
Sister Morris.
Oh, yeah, Sister Morris.
And obviously Sister Morris, Sister Mary Thaddeus, Mr. Jesky, Dr. Jesky now. And when I was here, Dr. Holling, Dean Holling was here. And then I did education and I worked a lot with Sister Grace,
Oh, okay.
who I love. And
Did you have the nursing school in CDC?
oh yeah, I was work study there. So I was there for 4 years. And then I sent my own children there many years later, which I always said I would, and I did. So it was great. Great experiences.
And Dorothy Marie.
Oh, and Sister Dorothy Marie, yeah. She
Do
taught.
you know about Dorothy Marie?
I know a little bit about her. I mean, I just encountered her. She was home ec, right?
yes.
But I encountered her actually later when I graduated. There were a couple instances where just some of the other things I was doing, I had the opportunity to speak with her a little bit about early childhood because she had the.
Yeah, and she actually started, it was a daycare, it was a daycare years ago,
Seton
but it was-
daycare.
and she tried to do it for the poor, wasn't it? The one she ever, and they had a couple of them around, now I don't know if any of them are still in existence. And Sister Edie did a lot of work with her.
Yeah, it's continued.
It's still there?
Seton
Okay.
Hill.
Yeah.
Child care services.
But she was the one that really, I think, initiated.
Yes, I think she did.
Yeah.
And I think it was originally geared to families that could not afford to send their children to private day schools or to any kind of daycare
And I
center.
think the one now, I think that's probably cost money, I mean, it does.
And also for specialty,
Oh, okay,
specialty work.
okay.
Special ed, like,
Yeah, politics.
yeah, I think she. was also the food service there. She taught food service one,
Who
how
was
to,
in
how to
charge-
really cook.
who was in charge of the practice house?
Well, Sister Angela, when I was there, we had Dennis, who was 4 months old then. We had to prepare meals for 1 week, 7 days, for 4 people, for $24.
And live as a family too, then you have to live in the house, practice house, kind of live
Yeah,
there
well-
for a week.
Okay,
Did somebody play the mother and father, or
no,
she had no man?
we were all mothers.
Oh, mother. A lot of mothers had. See, as a sister, well, when I entered as a student from New Jersey, but I left there for my junior year, so I didn't have the practice house. And so because I was a sister, they didn't put me there. I had that at Rosalia. I took care of a baby at our foundling in Pittsburgh. And then I did meals for a week at one of our schools where the sisters in Murraysville lived. They actually lived in the school because we were just started the school with 3 grades, and then they added the 4th, and when they added the 5th, they bought a house next door. But in the meantime, they lived there. We had a kitchen and everything. So I fed them for a week and planned their meals and everything for, cost-wise and all that. So it was a little different. I didn't get a chance to do the practice house. I did get a chance to at least take care of the baby for a little bit, but that was at the Foundling, which now is St. Joseph's House of Hospitality for homeless men.
Oh, really?
It's still being used, but for different things. Well, Foundling, you didn't really, those were the days when women who had babies, Well, they're one of them, but it was a terrible thing, I mean, it's not now, but, so they would give it. I don't think they ever even saw the baby. I think that would be
Yeah.
the hardest thing.
Yeah, that would be-
Sister Louise would know more about it. She was a nurse, and so she knows more about it than I do. But I know I stayed there for a week, and it was a really eye-opener. But any others? Jimmy, what about you when you were there?
Well,
Did you have through? I know you didn't have.
Yeah, well, I was, I had a close, affinity with Sister Mary Paulus, and then
Yeah.
still with Sister Rosaire. But I mean, as far as classes and things like that, I worked with Sister Susan on Dean's Council,
Oh, okay.
which was really nice. So I got to work with her in that, and I knew, Sister Ann whenever I was there and everything. So
Sister Rosaire is celebrating 75 years in our community.
I know, I can't believe that. She amazes me with all she's able to do and
She's
everything.
every year.
But they're part of the reason I came to Seton Hill.
Oh.
Because I met them when I was on a bus tour when I was like 5 or 6 years old. And we had kept in touch over the years. Whenever I was in high school, they said, you need to come and look at Seton Hill. And I was like, okay. So I came and looked. And as soon as I drove up the drive, like you said, I loved it. And that warm hospitality that everybody, offers you, that sense of family, that
It
was
is,
a
it really is a
decision.
special.
So I thank them for that because they really helped play a big part in that. So
That's a good story. I didn't know that.
That's funny you said that about the drive because last night as I was coming in, my husband drove me up here. I came in for a little while. As we were driving up the driveway, as soon as we turned in, I said, there is nothing in the world that beats this driveway.
Really?
And I mean, it's so peaceful. It's so picturesque. And every season of the year, it's so inviting. It's just, I just think I agree with you. That is a huge factor of making you feel comfortable and at home as soon as you come in.
And those trees, there's a whole story now. I don't know the whole story. I'm guessing Sister Louise does. But there's this whole story of the sisters planting those sycamore trees. It's probably in our archives.
They planted them in 1920. And by the time the students came back after their summer vacation, the trees were all planted. And Sister Rose Agnes, Sister Rose Agnes blogs, she's wrote a whole history of them because she was a senior that year. That when she came back, the trees were planted.
I know, it's great whoever had the idea. And of course, they kept them. They had to replace a few in over the years, but they don't keep them. They kept getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, it's a wonderful drive. And every time I drive up that, I think of all memories of being a student and walking up and down those hills.
Exactly.
When we were here, you weren't allowed to have cars.
Oh, wow.
So you had either walked or you got a taxi cab. And of course, it's funny when you think about it. It cost $1 for the trip. So we all would get 10 people in the cab and you'd pay 10 cents each. And we'd get the cab, drive us downtown, and then We
Now
could have
there's
camp
no
going the
camp
other way. Now
service.
they don't have camps. I'm
No
sure.
camp, no camp.
Well, they don't need
Yeah,
them.
there's
They
no
don't have
camp
a.
service in Greensburg at all. There's
I know,
none,
see what's
none
big
in
enough.
Connecticut.
But we had, I think when you were a senior, you were allowed to have a car.
I guess they have
But up until then,
Yeah, Uber now,
there were no parking lots except for the faculty.
Well, when we took a taxi from town, we were 6 in the car, and it was 60 cents.
So you came last, yeah, I was here before you. It is a long time ago.
You were here after.
I was here, when did you graduate?
54.
Oh, 54, okay. I should have graduated in 60, but I left there the third, so I graduated in 65.
You have 2 minutes to finish your story and
Okay.
move.
Anybody else? Any Bob? How about you? Have you got any?
Mostly loans, so
Oh, well, you can
that's.
tell.
And Sister Ann's sitting here and it wouldn't
Yeah.
be fair for me.
Oh, it'll all be good. Sister Ann, I know, Sister Ann taught me when she was a second, I didn't know what that was all about. I was a student. But, you were, I think, only a second. But I still read the one, and I remember the course and everything, but the one thing which was super, because nobody else did it, you took us outside on a nice sunny day. We had class outside, and I just always remember that because I thought, isn't that neat? And of course, you were just, a young sister, and I didn't know what the novice.
Comparison to me or the sister is, when I came up, there was no admissions officer at that time. They were in between admissions officers, and I signed myself up for classes.
Oh, wow.
And I came in as an AEP student, as a last semester sophomore, and signed myself up for classes. And 2 of my first 4 classes were senior level classes.
Oh.
One of them was Sister Marie, Victoria Marie Gribshaw,
Oh, okay.
and her consumer and society class was basically a senior stepping out class. That's the last class that somebody in that degree would take. So I took the hardest class in the business section first. And I hadn't, when the last time I was in school before that, the APA didn't exist.
Oh.
The American Psychological Association didn't exist at that time. So you came up and everything had to be written in APA style. I'd never heard of it. So I walk into her class, write a paper the first day, and she said, "What is it?" There's a 45-year-old kid going to the writing room, learning how to write.
We got through it, right?
Yeah, and she was right.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's anything else? We have 1 minute left, I guess.
I think Sister Lois played a big part too. I think of being involved here, and she was always looking out for the students and wanting them to make the best of their experience. And I never wanted to want you to do this, you do it. And I think that helped enhance the experience. I know a lot of the students too. So.
And Sister Lois and I we were in the same class, and she was a student from day one. We wanted to have a good time sometimes, and she had to study. We're always first with her. And of course, when she entered the community after she graduated, she taught high schools for a while, but then she came to Seton Hill, and she's been here, I think, over 40 years, I think. And just love, Seton Hill is part of Sister Lois.
Yeah, she just retired this year.
She just retired. Right.
Lois and Sister Ann were more involved with me after.
Okay,
Are we
then
done? I'm going somewhere
you
else.
go to the heritage room.
Integral in my.
Can we stay put?
You can stay put.
Somebody else.
Somebody else comes here. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Really
Sister
nice.
Sister
Sister Victoria.
Yeah. Hello, Sister Lois.
But it's never the same when you're not there. So that you want to hear about
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, better be easy than great. I can't really remember.
Yeah, I remember doing something like this before.
Yeah.
Where we changed rooms.
Yes. It's a nice little place. Oh, yeah.
ID cards
Oh, okay.
and all the keys and all those things. I checked.
Oh, I am. Yeah, that's what it is.
Hi, how are you?
No.
I'm on my way.
Okay.
You better sit here.
You're on my seat. I think they're moving on.
We didn't know where you were gonna sit. Before, waited until you came.
Yeah, she's here.
Is she here?
Yeah, with her husband Leo.
Oh, yeah.
John, I think he's coming. Hi there, I'm Sister Mary.
Charming.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sister Georgia.
Nice to
And
meet
your
you.
name is?
Charmaine. Nice to meet you. Come on over. I'm gonna say first, but I'll be right back.
Billy is Jeffrey.
Okay, thank you. I was hoping to be still here.
Nobody welcome. How did the first session go in the parlor? Oh, good.
Very nice. We
You
had.
talked about Leah and Deborah.
Yeah, that's very nice.
I remember both of them.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Louise found me this picture of them. Must have been in the early sixties, I would guess, because they're so cute. They're so cute. And I was just,
Leah was a good friend.
oh, she was.
Yes.
She, I went home with her the first time after she changed houses. And, you went on the train out to that and we walked up the hill.
Yeah.
So, and my mother was up, standing up on the porch. And she's looking down and she said, "Oh, baby, it's so short."
When we changed houses, I had my first visit home and my family all together in the picture. And I have it hanging in my room. Yeah.
I think it might, it's very slowly moving.
Anyhow, I look at the picture every day, and my oldest brother Art had 9 children. And I have this picture in his family right below it. And I look at the picture and I think, geez, they're almost all gone now. I remember having a session like this before.
We'll just get a couple more cheers. Yeah. I think there's room in this here. And we'll move her a little bit. And we'll give another chair. I think that'll work. I think those are. Bring all my stuff.
I'm looking for people I know.
Oh, PJ's up here. He's at the, he works at the, New Joe one, okay. I think he's a. That must be.
And I didn't want to leave it.
We're doing the whole dog show.
See, pictures. Where you did
That's in our budget. Julie's.
Yeah.
This is tattoo.
And Leopold is so good.
We're New Orleans. Sorry, oh, that's true for the federation. She takes students.
Yeah. And then they have. So they were. Swings and rings. Maybe.
You never look at that picture right in front of them.
I'm moving it based on what you guys said, so I'm seeing you.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, Leo's sister is. John and Nicholas is here, he's here, so. Yeah, so 3/4 of the family, but here is son and his wife just had the baby the other day. So she
I was
said.
praying to reach out for West Palm Hospital. And I saw you. Yeah.
She
said
really.
the baby online. We tried to make it, I went to see her, she was in
We don't get here this night now.
and she said, I wanted to be friends with you years ago, you know, that was kind of heartbreaking to me, I didn't know that.
It's a lot different than it is. It's very hard. I'm hard at it. I'm telling you, it's not hard in my last session. She always talked about it, and she got every time I
You graduated in 74. I graduated in 68. Yeah. And where are you in Nancy? What's that vendor Jacoby?
Yeah, I hear Dr. Jacoby's son, one of his sons.
Oh, okay. Oh,
You know, it's not.
I get that
Yes, yes.
It's Sally.
Yes.
And then you did the.
I reached out, I didn't know myself.
Yeah, thanks for that.
You left that.
I know.
Of course, I saw this morning.
That's one of the.
It's so fun, it's so many.
Also DJ, because that was the other day.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Like a prayer.
Yeah.
Okay, so our friends Leah and Deborah, who entered together and, we taught French and Deborah taught math. But most of their lives really at Seton. We're fun people, they were fun together, and I remember Leah told me the story that she was really sick in bed one Saturday, and she was just miserable. And she and Deborah were often the class advisors, and they used to have a cap and gown show. Freshmen put on the show after they'd been there about 6 months. And usually they took some, Hollywood story, like whatever, and they made parodies of the songs in it. So this particular year, they were doing West Side Story, and Deborah was trying to make the parody to Officer Crocky. Officer Crocky, on our knees. What does that disease? So she kept talking and singing this till Leah was dying in her bed. She said, "Oh, I'm just going to go away." I don't know, I don't remember where he was. They were good enough friends. She lasted through both. She got through that. Yeah, she got through that. I love Leah. I wanted to know that for that moment. She always seems so proper. I didn't know.
She was like,
Yeah, she was. I would.
but you know, the very special. First year in community kindergarten. So we went to Seton Baptist, where we did classes. This was second. Here. And Leah was teaching. Speech. I thought, speech. Oh, little did I know. Well, first of all, we were all singers. So she taught us choral singing. She taught us about limbo. You know, when Jesus rose, it says he was there about his. For the people who had died and couldn't get in. The first person who came up to him was Jesus. Oh, I always remember that beautiful story. She's a tremendous.
Good storyteller. And the other session, Sally had her, and she said she just remembered that she was always kind and you never felt like you were going to be attacked or made fun of or any of those things. She just was always very patient, and she was as a language teacher. She was very patient, and very encouraging. So she made you want to do the last thing. And I didn't know the French, I did Spanish, I heard Spanish. And Leah took me through the French. And she was so patient. And I passed it though. I can't work by. But you passed it. The important thing is you passed it. Gil was saying that she had a hard time passing it too. She was an alumni. And she lived across the hall from Leah, third day. And she said one day she had on this honor of some white shirt that had fun me and the guy with her towel on it and so on. And she had on, remember that Seton or something that she sang. So well, she was trying to sing on it and really came out and said, "That's not going to do it." It was funny. She was fun, and her whole family was fun. When they were visiting, she was on first low, that very first box on the right side, and they all had big laughs. I mean, they were. Deborah, who was kind of serious, Deborah grew up in a family of brothers. I think she's the only girl. She lost her brother.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Family girl.
Family girl. And she went to the Visitation Academy in Wheeling, and so she was probably raised pretty strictly and so on. So she was a reserved person, but she had a lot of fun. She and Leah were a great pair together. Anybody else have stories about Leah or Deborah?
Deborah, for me, just administration.
The registrar.
Okay, so that's right, but just in the door, she was so patient with us, so patient with us. And she was really patient. I mean, I'm sorry. And we were very close, very good friends, but she was really patient, so I think that was just her presence and very calming and very open. But I'm glad to hear she has a sense of humor.
She'll never be a girl. And she was nice. Girl was nice. Deborah was very nice. And she learned from and she was a good person.
Yeah, I was there at the same time, but she was kind of the superior of home sisters, 70 sisters in 1971.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I remember Leah when I was in training to do CPD work at Westmoreland Hospital, that's when they called it Westmoreland Hospital. And she was in the hospital as a patient, and I went to see her. And she was saying, she said, I wanted to be friends with you for a long time. I said, I'm your friend right now. I'll never forget that about Leah.
She was great. I mean, I didn't know the most, it was always just, you could tell she was just full of life, you know, and just,
If she hadn't been in the community, she wanted to be an actress. She was going to go to Northwestern and study.
she conducted plays.
Yes, yeah.
She directed plays. But she was into it.
And this is interesting, I keep in touch with her relative. She has a cousin, Jim, who's about my age, and he's married. His wife's not dead. He has 2 children, they're married kids. And from the Waters family, Shannon Hubble is a student at Seton right now. And she's Leah's mom. And her younger brother thought about coming here. He wants to be an actor. And I said to his mother, well, he comes by honestly. Yeah.
Leah, there's two buildings downtown, so they grew a lot of new students.
Yes.
My fond remembrance of Deborah, when I was a student at Seton Hill. I was one smoker, that one, smoker. I was up there. I think I was smoking them. But she came in and found me there. I was going home. I wasn't staying there.
I love this place.
And she actually helped me and like just talked me into like who I was and what I was doing there. It was amazing. I stayed. Right. I just always remember her saving my patient there. Wow. Leaving there.
Were you on the plant here?
I was. Right. I taught a year. I went to school 2 summers, a whole year, and I taught a year. 63rd graders. It's a great memory.
Yeah.
That's great.
What was the plan?
I graduated in 10 weeks. So students got, I guess, a big reduction in tuition.
Right.
And they came a summer, a year in the summer.
Right.
And then they taught for 2 years.
I actually only taught 1 year because then I entered.
And then you taught again.
And she was there last night.
Oh, but she really.
I'm so sorry. She said, oh, that's okay. I understand. She's a nice person.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Well,
very.
Leah Deborah used to tell that when they were in the academy, if you left your clothing anywhere, somebody where it shouldn't be, someone would pick it up and take it. And in order to get it back, you had to have memorized poetry.
Oh, my
Leah knew dreams. She could just recite, and oftentimes they're like you're telling about her, doing choral speaking with you or something.
Yeah.
It's, she had a whole head full of poetry she could recite at the drop of a hat.
The thing I remember about Deborah was the fact that when you went to summer school or you went to Saturday school, she was always up at Seton Hill and she made you feel so welcome. And it made you feel so relaxed about going to class, like Saturday school once a week. Summer school was a little better. But Deborah had a special gift to make people, especially the sisters that were coming, comfortable and happy and glad to see that we were able to attend class in the summertime and also once a week on Saturday. But she made you want to be there. That's
Yeah, she did really have that. So she was a wonderful sister servant for that group because
yeah.
it was a place where you'd be a lot of fun.
What's your first name again? Charmaine. Thank you.
When did you graduate? have any contact with Sisters One?
Just a few, so Sister Lois and then Sister Victoria, Sister Mo, and then I had Sister Susan Gilbert for chemistry or chem lab, something like that. Business, so I started out as a biology business major and then I dropped the biology. Just kept the business, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yes, so this is my 5-year anniversary, or my 5-year reunion year. But I work in human resources at Pittsburgh Public Schools. I'm not sure, I haven't seen, so I came for dinner last night, but there weren't too many people at dinner by the time I got out here from Pittsburgh. Yeah. So I live in the Hill District.
That's being built up now, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, the whole city is going through gentrification right now, so it looks completely different.
Absolutely.
I've really been back to the city. I visit my brother in North Hills, but I grew up near Hunt Park, so not
Right.
Yeah. I was clarified. I'm looking at
East Liberty looks completely different. A lot of people have been displaced by a lot of the development. It's completely different, yeah.
When did you graduate?
From Seton Hill in
Yeah.
2014.
14.
I heard it. First anniversary.
That's great. I graduated, and this is my 45th.
Ooh,
That's a long time.
Yeah.
45th, you know where that puts you ladies, okay? I'm here at 45.
Yeah, 50 years.
50 years. Wow. Jeez.
They're almost there.
I'm so glad you made it back for this 40.
Now, did Deborah still teach, after, did she teach? And she still taught math, like, after she was registrar, did she go back to teaching math? Did she teach much?
No, she retired from being registrar.
Okay. I was in contact with the, okay, I'm trying to think of the name, I just met online, Barbara Baxter. Okay, that name, okay, and she'd written an article on Mother Seton and her, why she needed Seton Hill. And it was, and it was such a, someone gave me the article, it was in Powell stuff. And I was going through Powell stuff. I didn't know what they did. The Powell stuff was back in the 90s. So I'm thinking, you know, so I just went on Facebook to see, because it was such a beautiful article. And it was just such a powerful article, you know, so I Facebooked her. And I noticed we had one, and I still don't know how she knows Patrice. Okay, but we had one mutual friend, so that was okay. I'm okay if she knows Patrice, that, you know. And it was just, and she teaches at St. Mary's of the Woods, okay, in English, okay. And Mimi Jo was, you know, but it was just, I just told her how inspired I was by the article. And then we were trying to talk about the professors we still knew, you know, she graduated in 78. She graduated. And her sisters were here too. We have 2 sisters. So it was fun to just connect up. And I said, I knew everybody. My father-in-law had taught here for not he taught philosophy for a long time. Everyone taught to you know, it's like.
So I said, I remember if he did you. I remember.
All right, and you know, it would be terrible. I said, you know, time because he always bumbled into his tie. You know, but he was able to give you lots of latitude in your papers, and he was a great man. You know, he was a great man. You know, so
He was a lot of fun.
yeah,
He was in some faculty show, and he wrote something across his ball.
Yes, and he and Mom met performing in a play together when they were in college. You know, so they were both, you know, his wife, Ginny. So, but here she said that Dr. Hood was one of her sister's favorite, and he and logically they had come to a dinner because her parents couldn't come, so she asked them to fill in. So she knew these people, so it was fun to just connect again. Yeah. But it was fun to be with this other Setonian, you know, and it was just recently, and just it was just inspiring.
And your daughter, she showed me all around Chicago.
Yeah. She tells the story how she Lois came into a meeting, admissions meeting, it was university, okay? And, my daughter works at the Palmingers. And she said, this nun came in and said, who's Dr. Jacoby's granddaughter? I said, you know, Sister Lois? I said, of course I know. And Joy said, first, Joy turned me red. And then, it's just, she works in missions at she's in missions, mission. And so she does all of us things, and she leads the tour group in Paris every year of the heritage tour, for the students and faculty. She always did get these mission and values into faculty and students, so.
Well, we can't go to Paris without we taking our faculty and staff and in groups to Emmitsburg.
That's our, yeah, Leah. Vivian, did you know Leah before you went to Seton or?
No. They asked me how I got connected with her. And I said, when I was a senior in high school, Sister Sarah Louise was a biology teacher.
Yeah.
Came to Elizabeth Seton High School and taught us French.
Really?
7-year French for a semester. And she told us later that, her French was from years ago. She hardly even remembered it. I don't know how she got drafted into doing this, but so when I came as a sister, Sarah Louise was in charge of, she was kind of like our advisor in charge of making sure you got into the right classes and all that kind of stuff. So she asked me one time that I met her, would I be interested in going on in French? Well, I didn't think French was that good. I said, well, sure. I like English, I like history, I like French. Yes, I think I can do it. I'll go on. And so then she, so she became my advisor and eventually my very good friend. So, it's one of those things where God has had a finger in your life. She's a lot.
Who's your sponsor last? Oh, Mayor Walter.
Why is this you let you say? I said, I didn't come from her. I moved to them. That's funny. You were. So you all had sponsors when you came in?
Janet was mine.
Oh.
She was a wonderful teacher at high school. And just when I first met her, it was my first meeting. We, sort of little do-gooder high school kids. We would come in, all the sisters get the classrooms ready, wash the desks and all that good stuff, get the books out. So I go up and Janet's in her classroom and she has on this long white paper. And, it probably was just her work paper, but she said to me, well, actually, I'm the infirmarian. I said, walk up here. Well, she was just carrying on. She wasn't the infirmarian, but she had this white apron on, so she looked like and she was always telling us books to read, and we'd run out and read them. Lovely. Good morning. Oh, it was long time ago. 94. That time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Everybody's coming back now. Yeah. Wrap up time.
This is a wonderful. See, I thought it was like, excuse me, break.
Sorry.
But that's what I thought. It's in the storytelling. Yeah, storytelling. Yeah. Sister was very Joy. Well, she always tries to make connections with the charities. The daughters of charity, whatever. And like even with her consenting, the priest said really said the story, and she was one of visiting the doctors. We were finding, and so he said, well, on Monday off, you can take our students, but it's not on their turn. And so now it's become part of the program because it was so successful because you have sisters and their parents and their different sisters. Well, now she's taking over to Rome and the Sissy. She's what kind of daughters are there? Okay, who are the daughters there? Who are the sisters there? And so somebody gave her a name to somebody that works in the lesbians. And so she contacted this nun and said, I have a group of students. And she said, well, I hear that you can come and I will give you a tour of the and the people were so shocked that she says, we're connected.
Well, everybody, I know you have a lot more stories. And we have to stop because we promised faithfully that you would get on the bus in time to get to your lunch. So now that you've begun to tell them, keep telling them through the day. And I want to remind our provincial and president of the Sisters of Charity of the United States College is here with us. You'll hear more from her this evening at dinner. And she's most supportive of the university. She's there as much as she's here, I think. We try to keep her busy because she has nothing to do, you know. Leaders never have anything to do. But anyway, we're so glad we came for the stories. Does anyone want to share one of the ones that particularly you liked or you were happy to hear, or a new memory that came to your head during it? Come on, don't be shy. You are shy, like.
I'm never shy. Hi, I'm Louise Ferrani Tammy, class of 59. I was just right up there. I'm Cornell buddy. I came, I was a home ec major, which I guess doesn't exist anymore. And I had Sister Angela as my department chair, and Sister Mildred taught me in this class. Then I went off to Cornell, and Sister and I, both graduates of there, taught at a place up in North Central Pennsylvania, Mansfield State University, nobody ever heard of. And then I came back and taught at Seton Hill, and Sister Angela was still the department chair. I taught with four of them, all four are now gone. Sister Angela, Sister Mildred, Sister Alice Louise, Sister Mildred, Sister Alice Louise, and who else? Dorothy Murray, yeah. And Sister Angela was our department chair. I was the only lay person in the department. I was the education person, so I was not the student teachers. But it was delightful. And I can't believe Sister was 101, Sister Angela. And then
I don't know how old Sister Gilby was, she didn't tell us. But yeah, but anyway, it was delightful to see them all. It's just great to be back. I can't believe we have so few people in my class, because it's 60 years. Sister Lois is saying, that's a spirit Lois, here you go. Oh, yes.
I just want to say that we just talked about Sister Leah, and Marilyn Moon just called me, and we were just talking about your friend, and she said, Lois, I need your prayers. I said, I can't hear you. She said, I'll call you back. So I don't know what she needs prayers for, but she called me right in the middle of my being cautious, but advice. That was a huge, she loved Leah. Anyone else?
I'd like Vanessa to share her story as a transfer student.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
How did this happen again? First of all, I'm not that. Never had any experience or anything other than bad kids in the neighborhood from the big families, who I believe back then were sent to Catholic school because they needed additional discipline. They needed structure. I left and went to Illinois, Southern Illinois, for my first year of college at McMurray, which was a Methodist college. By the end of, not even the first semester, but when I went home for Thanksgiving, I couldn't take it. I could not take it. Because what had happened is 1970, the whole Black Power movement and everybody, and I was out in Washington, D.C., hung out at Howard University. I was supposed to be the urban kid. I was nothing related to those kids from Southern Illinois and East St. Louis. No. I didn't understand until later why they put me in the dorm, Catherine Hall, the one other black student from Boston. But when I came to Seton Hill, and when I came home for that holiday, Thanksgiving, I told my father, I said, I can't go back here. Let's go look at Seton Hill because I've been accepted here. And I came up and I transferred. I finished out my year in Illinois and then came here. And it brought back much of what I was exposed to growing up. In the neighborhood where I grew up in Northeast, Catholic University, the Franciscan monastery, they're all there. I would finish my chores, homework, or whatever, and that was the place I would run to with my sketch pad. And I would sit in the rose garden at the Franciscan monastery. I would go in the shrine of the Immaculate Conception and sit in the pews. And it was just a comfort. It was just a safe haven. Coming to Seton Hill was a reification of that. And I felt so at home and got so much in such a short period of time. I didn't get to know a lot of the nuns, and I can never figure out whether Giuseppe was a nun or not. She was my special mentor. And of course, Sister Lewis, she did just so well with me. And the one person that really let me know what the was all about, Sister Seton. Keep an eye out. Whenever you move, you never knew where she was. But this was for me a wonderful experience and a chance to really get to know. And I have one other story, and this is from the neighborhood in Southwest, woman Mary Block. And Mary was always quiet and just really, really nice. She liked animals. There was something about Mary's demeanor that said, I think she's a nun. And one day, her medallion popped out. I didn't ask her, and she didn't volunteer. So I left it alone because I respected whatever was going on there. But that medallion, it didn't have to pop up. It was in her, that Sister Charity. I don't know what it is, Mother Seton did. She was just a neighbor. I just knew her as Mary. She didn't tell us anything else. Southwest Washington DC on Half Street. Down there when it was still just breaking out and being good for this revitalization thing.
There's a challenge.
Thank you for sharing. And anyone else?
I want Sister Vivian to tell the story about the nativity. I just love that.
Okay, I told this last year. It used to be that when you came back after Christmas, you then finished your first semester. And so all the things that students thought they were going to accomplish over the Christmas vacation, of course, they hadn't done. So they were kind of crazy and wild and trying to write papers and study for exams and whatever. And they would get into various kinds of mischief. And I was the assistant to the Dean of Women, who was Zoe Corsa. So I'm talking about Zoe's office one morning. She grabs me. She said, "Weechi, come in here." Don't laugh. I said, I tried to put my serious face on. And she said, and she told me this story that the kids the night before, there used to be a crib set in the oratory on 3rd and Min. There was a little new carpet down the center of the oratory. And the kids took all the figurines out of the crib set except baby Jesus. They left baby Jesus with a sign on it that said, "Hey, where's everybody going?" And they lined them all up, and they took the little shepherd with his pipe, and he was at the beginning of the line. Well, 2 of the perpetrators of this terrible act met one of our older sisters, and she was a pretty strict person, and she was not a happy camper. And she said to them, "Whoever did this, their arms and legs should fall off." These were 2 little freshmen on the plan, and they were terrified. They were like, and the next day, one of them twisted her ankle in gym. She came hobbling in on crutches, and she said, "Oh, it's started already." I assured her that wasn't so.
I remember that precept. There used to be steps they closed them. Because I lived on 30 minutes in freshman. And it wasn't in that little, sorry. I remember 30 men, we had rooms. They're huge, as you know. 4 freshmen in each room. And the crib set was set up at Christmas time. And then there were even steps there, but the steps are now gone because I walked by there. Well, they didn't go on the fourth. Well, I don't know, yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know, when I went to second, you couldn't go down. They closed off something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
Well, there were steps on this, we had porches, and then they changed them into steps. They became the fire stairs.
Oh, okay.
Because I was in 3rd and Min, but I had 6 in my room. We were down in the room that Mary, my finger.
Closets were this big.
That's my finger's office now, there were 6 of us.
They didn't expect you to have any clothes.
Until you're done. Yes. And they found a way to take those medicine cabinets out and
No.
Anybody else? We don't want to shut anyone off. We still have a minute or 2. I'm watching the time. That's my job. We still have time for a few more stories.
I think Sister Sarah Pena gave me a little picture of our mother professional health when I went to Vietnam.
Oh.
And then I left it there, and she was happy.
Sister Serafina was quite a lady, and she used to take care of us when I was a novice, when the novice mistress went away. And we would have reading after Rosary, but she thought it should go on and on. And we'd be sitting there after having gotten up at 5 o'clock and done the chores and so on, and we'd be all half asleep. And then finally the people that were in dietary would have to leave and they raise their hand. We had to go to the diet kitchen Well, girls, you go, and the rest of us are so interested. We had to stay until this time for supper. You were so glad if you happened to be in the dive kitchen. We did appreciate her great wisdom at the time.
Sister Serafina was in the summertime, would go around, we were on the teaching plan. And it was very hot, especially in the chemistry labs, which were down in the basement. And we eventually moved over to Lynch. But she used to go around, that was when seamless stockings became important. So she'd go around the field and make sure that we had our seamless stockings.
These young people probably don't know, we used to have to wear stockings.
We had to wear stockings.
Or knee socks.
Or knee socks.
Or knee socks. Sister Sarah used to say, pull that skirt down with those socks up and cover up that ugly expensive fashion.
But we got to the point that once in the summer of '60, it was so hot that we drew lines up our legs. And she caught on, so then we started wearing our seamless stockings with as many runs as possible so that she could see them.
Well, we called Sister, the one in the register, Rose Irene. We called her Radar because she could catch them from a mile away without stopping. Yeah.
I have two of them.
I see all the Jacobys here who are endowed like their father with the little ball. And I told this story, and I don't know whether you knew this, but he always was in our faculty shows. And in one show, he wrote something across his bald head and leaned over so the audience could see it. We were all just astounded at it. What a great guy. We still miss him.
Yeah. He talked to his time. Yeah.
Your exercise today.
I listened to Sister Vivian talk about Sister Deborah, but I'm thinking Sister Leah first. And then I was with Vicki talking about Sister Featherlip or Sister Mary and Sister Mimi Jo. So since we brought this up, I think in most of these discussions, I'll just recite for you a poem I Gates that we talked about. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 rows will I have there, and a hive for the honeybee. I will live alone in the bee-loud glade, and I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the crickets sing. The midnight's all a glimmer, and noon's a purple glow, and the evening is full of the livid wings. I will rise and go now, for always night and day. I hear lake water lapping at the shores, and on the pavements gray. I hear it in the deep heart's core.
Thank you.
I think that we came up, many of us, at a time where we were encouraged to memorize poetry, and it's very helpful. It's helpful to you as you get older and go back in your head for those moments and those wonderful, beautiful ways of saying something that needs to be said in a way that really helps us. So that's a lovely story, and I remember Sister Leah working with us in simple poems so we could teach them to children, but also good long poems that help us to connect to the world we live in now.
I have a Mimi Jo story that is not poetic. I had truly of living with Sister Mary Joseph in her final days, which she spent down in the Greensboro faculty house. she was a really different person from what she had been. You know, she was just sweet and gentle and all of the things that I believe she was. We forged a great friendship, and she called the night. They carried me out of here. I want you to come into my room, and I want you to. She said, "Look, see what's there." And I opened the top closet. It was not a poem. It was a large bottle of scotch. Get it out of here. I said to her and Sister Mary Joseph, I will enjoy it.
So, consideration for year protection. The last time I saw Sister Janet Wright, a friend of mine had driven me up here. And she waited outside. And when I got ready to leave, it was like, you can't walk out this door by yourself. So she, until we pulled away. And I really didn't know anything about legal and her law background and her ability. She wasn't going to let anything happen to me. And I was up here. I came up here to see it. On the way to the car. So safety, I don't know what kind of umbrella I'm under, but I'm always doing nice.
Thank you. Sister Janet loved Seton, and she managed, she might have retired in 90, but she was there every day if she could be there. And she used to get all dressed up if there was an occasion, but she always had a ride to get there. And what she would do, the sisters would get in line for dinner at 5 o'clock, and she, in her high-heeled shoes and her very best dress, would walk down by them, and then back, and then back. I'm going out, you know. I'll be at Seton Hill for dinner. That would get it to her dying day. Well, thank you very much. We can tell a lot more stories. There will be a shuttle to take you. I think it's out there. And we're so glad you came. We love the stories, and they are live streamed for others to see. And don't be sorry they missed it, but that's the way it is. Can't do everything. Have a good day. Enjoy your